Imagine for an instant, you have only a few minutes left to live. Not a year, not a month, not even a week, but instants. What would you think? What would you feel? What would you regret not having done? This is not a fantasy. It's an undeniable truth. Your end is near. I'm not talking about a distant threat or an abstract belief. I'm talking about the only absolute certainty we all share. At some point, the curtain will fall. Your time here will come to its definitive end. But here's the brutal and painful paradox. Most of us live as if we were immortal. We deceive ourselves into believing there's an infinite tomorrow to start living. And in that dangerous illusion, we become ghosts. Yes, ghosts. People who are biologically alive, but who in essence are already dead. Their dreams tucked away in the drawer of oblivion. Their passions buried under layers of later. Their voices silenced by the fear of what others will say. Their lives reduced to a boring routine, to a cycle of repeated failures, to an incessant search for others' approval. They're alive, they breathe, they walk, but their spirits have already stopped beating. They've died before dying. And you, are you one of them? Do you recognize that persistent feeling of emptiness? That regret that visits you at night for everything you don't dare to do? That frustration over potential you know you're not using? That's the sign. It's the echo of your soul screaming for an awakening. For years, society has taught us to postpone, to wait for the perfect moment, to accumulate things instead of living experiences, to value security above vitality. But that path leads you straight to the graveyard of forgotten dreams, to the tomb of an unlived life. But I have a revelation, a truth that, though raw, is the most powerful key to unleash your true potential and live a life without regrets. The awareness that your end is near is not to instill fear in you, but to ignite an unwavering urgency. It's the most powerful call to action you will ever receive. It's the universe's ultimatum for you to truly start living now. In this video, I will reveal how to transform the certainty of your end into fuel for your rebirth. I will guide you through relentless questions that will force you to confront the life you are living and the one you could live. I will give you the tools to unearth those forgotten dreams, break the chains of fear that paralyze you, and light that vital spark that will make you feel alive, completely and absolutely. It's not about living longer, but about living more intensely, about not having to look back with regret, so that when that inevitable end comes, you can say, I lived, truly, every instant. You are about to embark on the most important journey of your life, a journey that promises no comfort, but radical transformation. If you feel the call, if you are ready to break free from inertia, if you long to awaken and live each day with purpose and passion, then stay. Chapter 1. The Countdown. Your finitude is inevitable. In the stillness of our daily existence, immersed in routine, work, and long-term aspirations, we often forget an undeniable and fundamental truth. Our time here is finite. It is not an abstract philosophical theory, nor a religious belief. It is the only absolute certainty that accompanies us from the first breath we take until the last. The clock of our personal life has a silent but incessant countdown, and every passing second, every slipping opportunity, is irretrievable. Modern society, with its dizzying pace and constant bombardment of distractions, has mastered the art of keeping us perpetually busy. It fills every space of our consciousness with urgent tasks, ambitious plans, an endless array of consumption, and the seductive promise of future gratification. This incessant activity, this endless race, creates a dangerous illusion, that of an infinite tomorrow, an unlimited future where there will always be time to start that dream project, to say those important words, to live that postponed adventure, to reconcile with our true selves, or to mend mistakes. We deceive ourselves into believing that we are in some way immortal in practice, postponing real life for a hypothetical future that in reality is not guaranteed. This paradox of denial is the first great obstacle to a full and meaningful life. We become experts in self-deception, whispering excuses to ourselves like, I'll do it later, when I have more free time, when the situation is perfect, or when I feel ready. This constant postponement allows us to evade the discomfort of direct confrontation with our own finitude. By pushing the awareness of our mortality into a dark, dusty corner of our mind, we deprive ourselves of vital urgency, of that spark that could propel us to live with clear purpose, overflowing passion, and radical intentionality. We become, in essence, sleepwalkers who wander through life but do not live it fully. Death in this context should not be seen as the terrifying end we have been taught to fear, nor as a dark force lurking in the shadows. It is, paradoxically, the most potent catalyst and the most relentless motivator for authentic life. It is the definitive reminder that if there is something we long to do, say, feel, or experience, the time to do it is now. The awareness that your end is near is not a threat designed to sow panic in your heart, but an urgent invitation to awaken. It is the most powerful ultimatum the universe will ever extend to you, an inescapable call for you to stop living halfway and launch yourself into existence with all your soul, with all your energy, and with all your being. Think about it for a moment, with total honesty. If you were told the exact date of your departure from this world, would you continue living in exactly the same way? Would you continue postponing your deepest dreams and aspirations? Would you continue tolerating relationships that drain your energy and leave you empty? Would you remain in a job that stifles your spirit, or in an environment that suffocates your creativity? Most likely not. And relentless urgency would be born within you, a brutal clarity that would force you to reevaluate every priority, every action, every minute of your time. That same urgency and clarity are available to you at this very instant, simply by choosing to accept and embrace this fundamental truth of your existence. The finitude of life reveals a profound equality. Death makes us all equal, regardless of our wealth, social status, reputation, or material possessions. In the final moment, these distinctions dissolve. The only thing that truly belongs to us, what we can control until our last breath, is how we live each moment, how we love, how we dare, how we contribute, and how we choose to experience existence. If our life is measured by the quality of our days, by the intensity of our experiences, and by the authenticity of our actions, and not by the number of years or accumulated possessions, then every instant becomes invaluable, a sacred opportunity for fullness. The acceptance of our finitude, therefore, is not an act of pessimism or fatalism. Far from it, it is an act of profound realism, of mature wisdom, and of radical empowerment. When you stop fighting against the inevitability of your own end, when you release denial and resistance, you free an immense amount of energy that was previously wasted uselessly in worry, anxiety, and self-delusion. That dissipating energy becomes pure fuel for life, for overflowing creativity, for authentic connection with others, for the passionate pursuit of meaningful purpose, and for intentional action. You stop being a prisoner of someday and become the architect of now. Think of humanity's great achievements, the masterpieces, the revolutionary innovations, the lives that have left an indelible mark. Few of them were born of complacency or the belief in unlimited time. Many arose from a deep awareness of urgency, the desire to seize every moment, the knowledge that opportunities are finite. It is the understanding of our finitude that often pushes us to seek a purpose beyond mere survival, to transcend the everyday, and to leave something of value in the world. This awareness is a constant reminder that life is not a dress rehearsal. It is the play, and every day granted to you is a unique and irreplaceable act. The curtain can fall at any moment without warning. The only question that truly matters, the one that will resonate in the halls of your own consciousness in your final moments is, are you playing your part with all your passion, with all your authenticity, with all your light, and with all your purpose? Or are you waiting in the wings, paralyzed by fear, inertia, or denial, for the play to end without having dared to step onto the main stage? This chapter does not seek to instill terror, but a sacred urgency. The awareness of the countdown, of your inevitable finitude, is not a burden, but a compass. It is the initial spark, It is the first bold and liberating step toward awakening a life that is waiting patiently to be lived with fullness, with meaning, and without regrets. Chapter 2. Alive but Dead, the Graveyard of Forgotten Dreams. We have confronted the undeniable truth of our finitude. Each of us walks with a silent countdown, and that awareness should be the most powerful engine for living with a sacred urgency. However, and herein lies one of the most common tragedies of human existence, many people live as if they were immortal in practice, oblivious to the transience of their time. And in that dangerous amnesia, they fall into a form of existence that is, in essence, a premature death of the spirit. They are alive, yes, their bodies breathe, their hearts beat, they move through the world. But paradoxically, they are already dead. This is the central metaphor of our journey, that of being dead while alive. It is an existence that lacks true vitality, passion, purpose, and the spark that makes each day count. It is not a physical condition, but a spiritual and emotional one, manifested by a series of symptoms that, once recognized, can become the most urgent wake-up call for a rebirth. What are the symptoms of this death while alive? The purposeless routine, a life reduced to an endless series of repetitive tasks without a why that elevates them beyond mere subsistence. Waking up, working, eating, sleeping, and repeating, without a vision that inspires or a goal that transcends the everyday. It's like a clock that works, but its hands point to no destination. The fear of change, a deep aversion to stepping out of the comfort zone, even when the current inertia is painful. The comfort of the known, however miserable, is preferred to the uncertainty of growth and transformation. This fear is an invisible chain that keeps us prisoners of a life that does not satisfy us. Chronic frustration, a persistent feeling of dissatisfaction that something fundamental is missing, that life should be more, but without knowing how to achieve that more. It is a constant irritation with one's situation, but without the energy or direction to alter it. Silent regret, the inner voices of what-ifs and could-haves, recurring thoughts about lost opportunities, unspoken words, risks not taken, and above all, dreams that remained intentions. Regret is the lament of the spirit for an unlived life. Paralyzing inertia, the inability to take action, to take that vital first step toward change. A feeling of being stuck, of being unable to move, like a boat without wind or engine. This inertia is the weight of death while alive that prevents us from moving forward. The search for external approval, basing one's worth and happiness on what others think or how they see us. Living for others' expectations, disguising the true self for fear of rejection. This external dependence empties us of our authenticity and distances us from our own desires. The cycle of continuous failure. It's not necessarily failure in the sense of falling, but the constant repetition of patterns that do not lead to growth. It's like trying a path over and over again that leads nowhere, or sabotaging oneself just when success seems near. But of all these symptoms, there is one that is the most tragic, the most painful, and paradoxically, the most common: the abandonment of our dreams and goals. Human beings are born with an innate capacity to dream, to imagine possible futures, to conceive aspirations that give meaning to our existence. These dreams are our lifeblood, the fuel of our spirit. However, over time, pressures, fears, and external voices cause many of these dreams and goals to end up stored in a metaphorical place we could call the drawer of oblivion. In this drawer lie aspirations such as learning a new language, starting one's own business, writing a book, traveling to a dream destination, cultivating an authentic relationship, mastering a skill, or simply daring to be who we truly are. They are not lost dreams, they are simply stored, waiting. But waiting too long is, in itself, a way of losing them. When we leave those goals behind, when we resign ourselves to an existence without elevated aspirations, a part of our spirit begins to wither. Enthusiasm fades, curiosity diminishes, and vitality drains. It is at that moment that the spirit dies before the body. And that is the most powerful metaphor in this book. There are many people who are biologically alive, but are profoundly dead, Dreams and goals are not mere whims. They are the blood that nourishes our purpose. They are what truly keep us alive. When we stop pursuing them, when we resign ourselves to an existence without elevated aspirations, the spirit empties, life becomes flat, and the human experience is reduced to mere survival. The absence of aspirations not only deprives us of the joy of achievement, but also empties us of our very essence, plunging us into a state of existential lethargy. The cycle of continuous failure that many people experience is not a curse, but a direct consequence of this inaction regarding their dreams. The lack of a clear purpose, fueled by vibrant dreams, leads to the repetition of unsatisfactory patterns. If you don't know where you're going, any path will do, and often that path will be one of mediocrity or stagnation. Inaction regarding dreams is one of the main reasons people feel frustrated, unmotivated, and trapped in a cycle of failures that prevents them from evolving. It is the inertia of death while alive that perpetuates the lack of real success. But the good news is that this state is not permanent. The awareness that your end is near is the loudest alarm that can ring in your life, one that invites you to awaken from this premature death. It is a call to action to unearth those forgotten dreams, to dust off those goals stored in the drawer, and to inject them with the lifeblood of your attention and commitment. There are countless stories of awakening, of people who, upon recognizing this condition of death while alive, decided to radically change their course. Individuals who, at 30, 40, 50 years old or more, abandoned inertia, rescued their dreams from oblivion, and began to live with renewed passion and purpose. Perhaps that person is you. The graveyard of forgotten dreams is a sad and silent place, but the choice to visit it, to recognize what is there, is the first step to transforming it into a vibrant garden of new possibilities and fertile ground for rebirth. This chapter is your invitation to recognize these symptoms in yourself, to confront the reality of your postponed dreams, and to prepare for the self-examination that will allow you to reclaim the vitality that belongs to you. Chapter 3. The Relentless Mirror. Questions you must ask yourself now. Now, it's time for the most intimate and necessary confrontation. Looking at ourselves in the mirror without filters, without excuses, and asking ourselves the questions we often avoid at all costs. Introspection in this context is not an exercise in self-pity, but a relentless tool for honest self-analysis, the first step towards the resurrection of your true self. This chapter will guide you through a series of questions designed to pierce the surface of your routine and reach the core of your existence. Don't look for quick or comfortable answers. Seek the truth, however uncomfortable it may be. Take your time with each question, breathe, and allow the answer to emerge from the depths of your consciousness. You can write them down, record them, or simply meditate on them, but make sure they are a genuine dialogue with yourself. Here are the key questions designed to confront the life you are living and the one you could live. For what purpose do you wake up each morning? Beyond the alarm and obligations, is there a deep reason, a mission, a goal that drives you with enthusiasm? Is your life a reflection of your deepest dreams and your most authentic values, or is it a mere repetition of the same, an echo of others' expectations? If your answer doesn't fill you with energy, it's a sign. What dreams or projects have you put in the drawer of oblivion, and why? Think about those aspirations that once thrilled you, a business you wanted to start, a book you dreamed of writing, a trip you longed for, a skill you wished to master, a relationship you wanted to heal, or simply the person you dreamed of being. Why are they still there, gathering dust? Do you consider them lost forever, or is there still a spark of hope? Identify the excuses, the fears, the distractions that keep them locked away. Are you living your own life or satisfying the expectations of others? Reflect on your most important decisions, your career, your relationships, your hobbies, even how you dress or speak. Are they genuine choices that resonate with your inner self? Or are they the result of social, family, or cultural pressure? Does this life you lead bring you closer to the realization of your most authentic aspirations and your happiness? Or does it take you away from them in an attempt to please others?
A life lived for others is a life not lived for oneself. What fears prevent you from unearthing those dreams and living authentically? Be specific. Is it the fear of failure, criticism, success, loneliness, the unknown, poverty, illness, old age? Name them. Give them form. How have they paralyzed you? How have they justified inaction and keeping those dreams in the drawer? Understanding your fears is the first step to dismantling them. If today were the last day to truly start living, regardless of the consequences, what would you do? This is the ultimate question, the one that cuts through all excuses.
If time ran out, what action would you take? What would you say? To whom? What risk would you take? What dream would you unearth and start building, even if only for a few hours? The answer to this question reveals your true priorities and the path to your liberation. To make this self-examination even more practical and visual, I propose 2 exercises. The inventory of forgotten dreams. Take a sheet of paper or open a digital document. Divide the page into 2 columns. In the first, write down all the dreams, goals, projects, and aspirations you once had that are now stored in the drawer. Be exhaustive, no matter how small or large they seem.
In the second column, next to each dream, write the honest reason why you haven't pursued it. For example, fear of failure, lack of time, don't know where to start, what will people say? This inventory will give you a clear view of what you have postponed and why. The map of potential. Regrets. On another sheet, visualize your life 20, 30, or 40 years from now. If you continue living exactly as you do today, without significant changes, what would you regret? What unrealized dreams would weigh most heavily on you? What lost opportunities would you lament? Draw a mind map or write a letter to your future self from your current self, expressing those regrets.
This exercise will allow you to visualize the cost of inaction and the importance of acting now. This self-examination is not to judge or blame you, but to illuminate your path. It is for you to become fully aware of where you are, what you have postponed, and what is preventing you from living an authentic and vibrant life. The truth may be painful at first, but it is the only solid foundation upon which you can build your rebirth. By answering these questions with brutal honesty, you are taking the first step to unearthing your dreams, breaking your chains, and beginning to truly live before your end, literal or metaphorical, arrives.
Chapter 4. The invisible chains, fears and limiting beliefs that paralyze. Now it's time to identify the true jailers who keep those dreams locked up and prevent us from living fully. The invisible chains of fear and limiting beliefs. These are not chains of iron, but mental and emotional constructs that, without realizing it, paralyze us and keep us in a state of death while alive. Fear is a primal force, a universal emotion. It is a natural response to danger. However, in modern life, fear often becomes distorted, turning into a barrier to growth instead of a survival mechanism.
We find ourselves trapped by fears that, although they seem real, are mental projections that prevent us from acting. Let's explore some of the most common fears that act as invisible chains. Fear of failure. This is perhaps the most universal fear. We are terrified of not meeting expectations, of disappointing, of wasting time or resources. This fear paralyzes us into inaction, as not trying something seems safer than risking failure. However, inaction guarantees the failure of not having lived. The life of death while alive is in itself a form of failure by omission. Fear of judgment and criticism. We are deeply concerned about what others think or say about us. We fear being ridiculed, rejected, or not being good enough in the eyes of others. This fear leads us to conform, to not express our authentic ideas, and to not pursue paths that might be judged by society. You live for external approval and not for your own fulfillment. Fear of success. Although it seems contradictory, many people fear success. Success can bring new responsibilities, higher expectations, public scrutiny, or the fear of losing what has been gained. This fear can lead to self-sabotage, preventing you from reaching your true potential. Fear of loneliness. The idea of being alone or being excluded can be terrifying. This leads us to cling to unsatisfactory relationships, to not set healthy boundaries, or to not pursue dreams that might distance us from our current circle. You prioritize company over your authenticity. Fear of the unknown. Uncertainty is inherent in any change or new adventure. This fear anchors us in the comfort of the familiar, even if that comfort is limiting. It prevents us from exploring new opportunities, learning new skills, or embarking on journeys that could transform our lives. Fear of poverty. The worry about financial stability can be a barrier to taking calculated risks for passion or purpose, keeping people in jobs they hate for the security of the paycheck. Fear of illness or pain. The fear of physical or emotional vulnerability can prevent people from making decisions that involve physical risk or from opening up emotionally in relationships. These fears do not usually operate in isolation. Often, they are woven into complex networks of limiting beliefs. A limiting belief is an idea that we consider an absolute truth about ourselves, about others, or about the world, but which in reality restricts our possibilities. For example, I'm not good enough. It's too late to start. Money is hard to get. People will always judge me. These beliefs act as the cement that solidifies the chains of fear, the origin of the chains. Our invisible chains are not born with us. They are forged throughout our lives. Formal and informal education, family experiences, messages from our parents and guardians, and societal and cultural conditioning play a fundamental role in their creation. Family. From an early age, we absorb messages about what is safe, appropriate, or possible. An overprotective parent can sow the fear of risk. An environment that punishes failure can foster the fear of trying. Education. The educational system, by prioritizing memorization and conformity over creativity and exploration, can instill fear of error and original thought. Society and culture. The standards of beauty, success, wealth, or behavior that society imposes can generate fears of not fitting in, of not being enough, or of not reaching an unattainable ideal. Constant comparison on social media amplifies these fears. These external influences, when internalized, become our own limiting beliefs and operate from our subconscious, directing us away from what we desire, even without our realizing it. The cost of not living, the price of the chains. The vital price paid for not facing these fears and for clinging to these limiting beliefs is immense, and it translates directly into unlived dreams and unexplored potential. When you don't dare to unearth your dreams from the drawer of oblivion, as we saw in Chapter 2, it's not just a lost opportunity, it's a wound to your spirit. It's a cost that accumulates in the form of regret, frustration, and that corrosive feeling of being dead while alive. Every abandoned dream, every risk not taken out of fear, every no to a growth adventure is a portion of your vitality that fades. It is a manifestation that you are allowing your fears to dictate the course of your existence instead of your purpose and your most authentic desires. The cost is a reduced life, an existence lived far below your true potential. Practice. Identify and question your invisible chains. The first step to breaking these chains is to make them visible. You need an honest inventory of your fears and limiting beliefs and how they directly relate to those dreams stored in the drawer. Map your fears. Take a sheet of paper and write in one column, "Fears that hold me back." Then, for each dream you identified in Chapter 3, ask yourself, what specific fear has prevented me from pursuing this dream? Be brutally honest. For example, if your dream is to start a business, is it the fear of financial failure, the fear of your family's judgment, the fear of the entrepreneur's loneliness? Uncover your limiting beliefs. Next to each fear, ask yourself, what underlying belief do I have about myself or about the world that feeds this fear? For example, if the fear of failure stops you, the limiting belief might be, "I'm not smart enough to achieve this," or "failure is the end of the world." If the fear of judgment paralyzes you, the belief might be, "Others' approval is essential for my happiness," or "I am not worthy of love if I am not perfect." Trace the origin. If possible, reflect on the origin of these beliefs. Was it instilled in you by your parents? Don't take risks, be safe. Does it come from a traumatic experience in school? Is it a constant message from the media or your social circle? Understanding the origin helps you depersonalize the belief and understand that it is not an absolute truth about you, but something learned. Evaluate the cost. For each dream you have left in the drawer due to a fear or a belief, ask yourself, what is the real cost of not pursuing this dream? How do I feel about not living it? What will I lose if I allow this chain to stop me until the end of my days? Visualize that future regret. This exercise of self-analysis can be uncomfortable, but it is an act of liberation. By identifying your invisible chains, you bring them to the light of consciousness. And once they are visible, you can begin to work to dismantle them, one by one, and reclaim the vibrant life that awaits you beyond fear. Knowing your chains is the first step to breaking them and launching yourself into living your dreams before your end, the literal one, arrives. Chapter 5. The Conscious Rebirth, Awakening Your Dormant Potential. This chapter is your invitation to a conscious rebirth, to awaken that dormant potential residing within you, and to unearth the dreams that inertia and fear have held captive. The good news is that your mind possesses an astonishing capacity to reprogram itself, to choose a new path, and to live a vibrant life regardless of the past. Modern science has confirmed what the wise have intuited for millennia. Your brain is not a fixed structure. It is malleable, adaptable, and capable of reorganizing itself throughout your entire life. We call this phenomenon neuroplasticity. It means that old limiting beliefs, ingrained fears, and self-destructive thought patterns are not permanent sentences. You can rewrite the narrative of your life. You can forge new neural connections, and you can train your mind to think, feel, and act in a way that empowers you. The power of choice is the engine of this transformation. You are the architect of your mind. Awakening your dormant potential is an act of personal responsibility. It's not about waiting for external circumstances to change, or for someone else to give you permission to live fully. It's about taking the reins of your own existence and consciously deciding that you will no longer live halfway. It is a declaration of war against self-imposed mediocrity and an affirmation of your right to fullness. The first lights of this rebirth begin with two fundamental pillars: mindfulness and radical self-acceptance. Cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to be present in the here and now, observing your thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment. Many times we live on autopilot, carried away by inertia, by mental noise, or by distractions. Mindfulness allows you to break that cycle. Observe without judging. When you find yourself with a limiting thought, "I'm not capable," or an emotion of fear, simply observe it. Don't condemn yourself for having it, but don't identify with it either. It's just a thought, an emotion. This act of observation creates a crucial distance that allows you to choose your response instead of reacting automatically. Anchor in the present. Practice anchoring yourself in the present moment. Feel your breath. Pay attention to the sounds around you, the textures, the smells. By doing so, you disconnect from worries about the past or the future, which are the main sources of anxiety. Detect inertia. Mindfulness helps you identify moments when you are falling into inertia or death while alive. Are you watching television aimlessly? Compulsively browse social media? Postponing an important task? By becoming aware of these patterns, you gain the power to change them. Practicing radical self-acceptance. Radical self-acceptance does not mean resigning yourself to being less than you can be. It means accepting the totality of your being in this present moment.
your strengths, your weaknesses, your past mistakes, and your current fears. Only when you accept what you are can you begin to transform yourself. Embrace your imperfection. Give yourself permission to be imperfect. Mistakes are part of learning. Relentless self-demanding and the pursuit of unattainable perfection are barriers to action. By accepting your humanity, you free yourself from the paralysis of perfectionism. Free yourself from guilt and shame. The past cannot be changed. If you feel guilty or ashamed of past mistakes, acknowledge those feelings, learn the lesson, and then let them go. Guilt and shame are anchors that prevent you from moving forward. Self-acceptance allows you to forgive yourself and look ahead. Recognize your inherent potential. Self-acceptance also means recognizing the immense potential that lies within you, even if it has been dormant. Believe in your capacity for change and growth without needing others to validate it first. This conscious rebirth is the awakening to the truth that you are capable of unearthing and reviving the dreams you thought lost. It is the basis for reclaiming the vitality that belongs to you, for ceasing to be a ghost in your own life, and becoming the vibrant and passionate being you are destined to be. To catalyze this awakening, visualization becomes a powerful tool. It is not magic, but a proven technique to reprogram your subconscious mind, aligning your thoughts and emotions with the life you wish to live and the dreams you long to realize. Visualize your desired life in detail. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in the future where you are already living the life you have unearthed. If your dream is to write a book, visualize yourself writing, feeling the weight of the manuscript, seeing the published book, feeling the satisfaction. If it's starting a business, visualize the office, the interaction with satisfied customers, the impact of your product. Involve all your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? What do you feel? Focus on the realization of your forgotten dreams. Specifically, take one of those dreams you had in the drawer and visualize it fulfilled. See yourself taking the first step, overcoming obstacles, and finally achieving that dream. Feel the emotion, the joy, the gratitude. This practice sends a clear message to your subconscious. This is what I want. This is possible. I am ready for it. The subconscious, without judging, will begin to seek ways to manifest that vision into your reality. Visualize overcoming the chains. If one of your fears is judgment, visualize yourself acting bravely, regardless of what others think, and feeling free and authentic. If your fear is of failure, visualize yourself trying, learning, and getting up, feeling resilience instead of defeat. By visualizing overcoming, you train your mind to dismantle those invisible chains. This conscious rebirth is a commitment to yourself, a promise to live fully every day you are granted. It is the choice to leave behind inertia, soulless routine, and forgotten dreams, and to embark on an existence where every moment is an opportunity to express yourself, grow, and leave your mark. By awakening your dormant potential, you not only change your life, you change the way you interact with the world, radiating a vitality that inspires and uplifts. This is the first step in your personal resurrection. Chapter 6. The Brave. First step: imperfect action and inevitable persistence. This is where most journeys of change stop, where good intentions wither, and where the possibility of a full life dissolves into the routine of tomorrow. This chapter is your call to action. It's time to take the brave first step, to embrace imperfect action, and to cultivate unshakable persistence that will make you unstoppable. Inertia is a powerful force. After living for years in a state of death while alive, the mere thought of changing, of unearthing those forgotten dreams, can seem overwhelming. Our mind, accustomed to the familiar, however uncomfortable, resists the unknown. We invent excuses, convince ourselves that it's not the right time, or fall into the trap of paralyzing perfectionism. I'll wait until I have all the answers. I need more information. It has to be perfect from the start. But the truth is that perfection is the enemy of action.
A perfect plan that is never executed is worthless. A brilliant idea that stays in the mind does not change the world. The wisdom here lies in understanding that imperfect action is infinitely superior to perfect inaction. It's better to take a small, clumsy step towards your dream today than to wait for a masterful step that never comes. Every great journey begins with a single step, not with a gigantic leap. Think of a child learning to walk. They don't wait to have perfect technique. They get up, fall down, wobble, get up again, and step by step, imperfectly, learn to master movement. If they waited for perfection, they would never walk. Similarly, your first steps towards unearthing your dreams will be imperfect. You will make mistakes, feel uncomfortable, doubt. That's normal and part of the process. The key is to start. The discipline of small steps. The most effective way to break inertia and overcome procrastination is through the discipline of small steps. Big goals can seem like impossible mountains to climb, but if the mountain is reduced to a series of small steps, each becomes manageable. Divide and conquer. Take that unearthed dream or goal and break it down into the smallest, most ridiculously simple tasks you can imagine. If your dream is to write a book, the first step is not write a book. It's write the book title, or research the topic for 30 minutes, or write 100 words. Choose your brave. First step, identify the smallest task you can do right now in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Make it so easy you can't say no. It's the baby step that gets you moving. Commit to consistency, not intensity. It's more powerful to take a small step every day than a big leap once a month. Consistency creates positive inertia, builds momentum, and strengthens discipline. A river isn't formed by a massive flood, but by the constant flow of small drops of water over time. Celebrate small achievements. Every time you take that small step, acknowledge and celebrate it. This reinforces the habit and gives you the motivation for the next step. Progress, not perfection, is what matters. Breaking the chains of procrastination. Procrastination is the main saboteur of dreams. It's not laziness, but often a defense mechanism against fear of failure, success, criticism, the unknown. To break free from it, identify the emotion behind it. When you find yourself procrastinating, ask yourself, what emotion am I avoiding by postponing this? Fear, anxiety, frustration. Recognizing the emotion is the first step to deactivating it. The 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Don't postpone it. This builds the habit of action. The Pomodoro technique. Work in 25-minute blocks with 5-minute breaks. This helps you stay focused and prevents the task from feeling overwhelming. Make it ugly. Allow yourself to create a terrible first draft. The pressure for perfection is a major cause of procrastination. Just start, even if it's imperfect. You can refine it later. Learning from failure. The disguised teacher. On the path to realizing your dreams, failure is not a possibility, it's a certainty. There is no success without failure. The difference between those who live fully and those who remain dead while alive is not the absence of failures, but how they interpret and respond to them. Reframe failure as feedback. There is no failure, only feedback. Every mistake, every setback, every stumble is a valuable lesson in disguise. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is this experience teaching me? The laboratory of life. Visualize your life as a laboratory where every experiment, action, gives you data. If an experiment doesn't work as expected, it's not a failure. It's an opportunity to adjust the variables and test a new hypothesis. Resilience is not toughness, it is flexibility. The ability to bounce back from setbacks is not insensitivity to pain, but being flexible like bamboo that bends with the wind and does not break. It is to feel frustration or sadness, learn from it, and then, consciously, move on. Unwavering. Persistence. Persistence is the quality that transforms desire into reality. It is the tenacity to continue despite obstacles, criticism, doubt, or discouragement. Great achievers are not those who never fail, but those who never give up. Their no to giving up is the force that ultimately allows them to achieve their purpose. Your inner master. Mind, an ally in action and persistence. Remember that within you, you already have the power for action and persistence. It is your definite purpose that acts as a beacon in the fog. It is your faith that gives you conviction. It is your auto-suggestion that programs your mind for success. It is your will that pushes you to take the first step. When fear paralyzes you or procrastination stops you, return to the awareness that your end is near. This truth, far from being a burden, is the most powerful catalyst for action. It will remind you that there is no time to lose, that every day you don't live, your dreams is a day lost forever. The brave first step can be terrifying, but it is the door to your freedom. Imperfect action is your tool. Persistence is your fuel. Dare to unearth that dream. Take that small step today and observe how inertia dissolves, opening the way to a life fully lived. It is the only way to ensure that, at the end of your days, you can look back and say with absolute conviction, I lived, truly, every instant. Chapter 7. The Dance of Connections. Relationships that elevate your existence and support your dreams. In a world that often promotes individualism and superficial interactions, it's easy to forget that we are inherently social beings. The quality of our relationships can be the wind in our sails or the anchor that keeps us adrift. This chapter will guide you on how to build authentic relationships that not only elevate your existence, but actively support the realization of your dreams, and how to identify and transform those that keep you in death while alive. Meaningful relationships are the fabric of a rich and purposeful life. We are not islands. Our happiness, our growth, and our ability to achieve great things are intrinsically linked to the people around us. The energy, inspiration, and support we receive from authentic connections are irreplaceable. However, not all relationships propel us forward. In fact, some can be invisible obstacles that drain our energy, stifle our creativity, and anchor us in patterns of death while alive. Identifying dead relationships, the cost of energy drain. Just as dreams can die in the drawer of oblivion, relationships can also become dead, even if we maintain them out of habit, obligation, or fear. These are relationships that, instead of nourishing us, systematically drain our energy, discourage us, or prevent us from growing. Recognizing them is the first step to being able to heal them or establish healthy boundaries. Pay attention to the following signs. Consistent energy. Drain. Are there people with whom, after interacting, you consistently feel exhausted, frustrated, unmotivated, or smaller than you are? These relationships can be energy vampires that, without your realizing it, leave you without the vitality needed to pursue your dreams. Discouragement and chronic criticism. Does your inner circle tend to minimize your dreams, criticize your attempts at change, or constantly remind you of your limitations? If your aspirations are met with skepticism or ridicule instead of support, that relationship is an anchor that keeps you in inertia. The fear of judgment from these people can be one of your strongest chains. Lack of mutual growth. Does the relationship feel stagnant, always repeating the same patterns without evolution for both parties? Dead relationships offer no space for personal growth. Connection based on obligation or fear. Do you maintain certain relationships out of fear of loneliness, social pressure, or a sense of duty that doesn't come from genuine love or respect? Obligation is a cell that prevents you from seeking more authentic connections. Passive or active sabotage. In some cases, a dead relationship can sabotage your dreams passively, ignoring your achievements, changing the subject when you talk about your passions, or actively, directly discouraging you, creating conflicts when you try to move forward. Recognizing these dynamics is not judging people, but protecting your own energy and your path to fullness. It is an act of vital self-preservation. Cultivating vital connections, building alliances for your dreams. Once you identify the relationships that drain you, the counterpart is to intentionally invest in those that uplift you. and to seek new ones that propel you forward. Cultivating vital connections is an art that requires awareness and effort, but its rewards are immense. Genuine communication and active listening. Authentic relationships are built on a foundation of transparency and understanding. Speak honestly about your dreams, your fears, and your vulnerabilities. But crucially, practice active listening. Listen to understand the other person, not to respond or judge. When communication is bi-directional and empathetic, trust flourishes and connection deepens.
Establish healthy boundaries. This is a fundamental skill to protect your energy and your purpose. If a relationship drains you, or if someone doesn't respect your dreams, it's vital to set clear and firm boundaries. This may mean reducing the time you spend with certain people, changing the type of topics you discuss, or even in extreme cases, distancing yourself from the relationship if it is consistently toxic. Setting boundaries is not selfishness, it is self-protection and respect for your path. Seek dream allies. Your informal mastermind. Actively seek out people who share your values, who support your dreams, and who inspire you to grow.
These people will not only encourage you, but will offer you perspectives, knowledge, and perhaps even resources. They can be friends, mentors, colleagues, or even online communities. Surround yourself with those who elevate your energy and remind you of your potential. Your mastermind can be a formal group or an informal network of people who believe in you and your vision. Practice empathy and compassion. By recognizing that everyone is on their own journey, with their own chains and their own fears, empathy allows you to understand the imperfections of others without letting them affect you personally. You can offer compassion without sacrificing your own peace. Cultivate gratitude for your connections. Take time to appreciate and express gratitude for the relationships that nourish you. Recognize the value of those who support you and propel you forward. Gratitude strengthens bonds and attracts more positive connections into your life. The link between relationships and fulfilled dreams. Your relationships are not just a backdrop for your life, they are an active part of your path to realizing your dreams. Unexpected resources. Often the opportunities, specialized knowledge, or resources you need for your dreams come from your network of contacts. A casual conversation, an unexpected piece of advice, or an introduction can be the key to unlocking your next step. Support in adversity. The path to any dream is full of obstacles. Authentic relationships provide you with a crucial support system in moments of doubt, frustration, or failure. Sharing your burdens with those who understand and support you gives you the resilience to keep going. Positive accountability. Your dream allies can serve as an accountability system that helps you stay on track. Knowing that others believe in you and expect your progress can be a powerful motivation not to abandon your goals. Continuous inspiration. Being surrounded by people who are pursuing their own dreams inspires you and reminds you that a full life is possible. Their courage fuels yours. By consciously investing in building and nurturing your connections, you are investing in yourself and in the realization of your dreams. Authentic relationships not only elevate your personal existence, but become vital platforms that propel your deepest aspirations. It is in the dance of these meaningful connections that the spirit is revitalized and dreams, once forgotten in a drawer, find the necessary support to fly. Chapter 8. The Living Legacy, Beyond Personal Finitude and Fulfilled Dreams. The awareness that your end is near not only pushes us to live the present intensely and pursue our dreams, it also confronts us with the fundamental question: what will we leave behind? The need to transcend, to feel that our existence has had a purpose greater than mere consumption or personal survival, is a deep human force. A legacy is not measured solely in accumulated material wealth, but in the positive impact we have generated, in the lives we have touched, in the ideas we have sown, and in the value we have brought to the world. Living with the awareness of finitude pushes us to redefine success. It's not just what you get for yourself, but what you create and give to the world.
This is the essence of a transcendent purpose, connecting your personal life and your deepest aspirations with an impact that benefits others. When your purpose goes beyond your own benefit, it becomes charged with an energy and meaning that propel you to levels of achievement and satisfaction that selfishness could never reach. The beauty of a living legacy is that it doesn't require monumental heroic acts or global fame. Every conscious act of kindness, every shared piece of knowledge, every problem solved for another, every dream you pursue with passion that inspires someone else, every contribution you make, however small it may seem, is a thread in the tapestry of your legacy. It is the cumulative sum of a life lived with intention, of unearthed dreams, and of a spirit that refuses death while alive. Living to give, the joy of contribution. The paradox of giving is that, in doing so, we receive much more. The deepest joy and fulfillment do not come from accumulation, but from service and creating value for others. This is a universal truth that resonates in all philosophies of wisdom. When your life becomes a channel for good, when your dreams not only benefit you, but also positively touch the lives of others, you experience a form of happiness that is unshakable and transcends circumstances. A living legacy is a direct reflection of a life without regrets. If you have lived with the urgency of your finitude, if you have unearthed your dreams and dared to pursue them, if you have cultivated authentic relationships, and if you have contributed your essence to the world, then the hour of your departure will not be a moment of lament, but of profound satisfaction. You will be able to look back and say, "I did it. I lived fully. I gave my best. I left a mark." Practice, reflecting and building your living legacy. To begin building this legacy, and so that it is not just an abstract aspiration, I invite you to deep reflection and intentional planning. Define your legacy vision. What specific mark would you like to leave on the world? How do you want to be remembered? What problem would you like to have helped solve? What message do you want to endure after you? Be concrete. For example, I want to have created a solution that facilitates education for disadvantaged children. Or, I want to have inspired thousands of people to live their dreams without fear. Or, I want my children to remember that I lived with courage and authenticity. Connect your legacy with your dreams and passions. Your legacy doesn't have to be an additional burden, but a natural extension of your dreams and talents. How can you use your passions, your unique skills, and your current dreams to serve a purpose greater than yourself? If your passion is art, how can your art inspire or heal others? If it's entrepreneurship, how can your business create sustainable value and solutions for society? Identify your spheres of influence. You don't need to change the entire world. Start with your closest circle of influence, your family, your friends, your local community, your workplace. How can you start to generate a positive impact and live your legacy in these spheres right now? Integrate contribution into your action plan. Just as you plan your personal goals, plan specific actions for your legacy. What can you do this week, this month, this year to contribute to that vision? It can be as simple as mentoring someone, dedicating time to a social cause, or creating a product service that genuinely solves a problem for others. Live with daily intention. Every day is an opportunity to live your legacy. Ask yourself, am I living today in a way that contributes to the legacy I want to leave? Am I being the person I need to be for that legacy to manifest? The sum of these small, intentional acts is what builds an extraordinary legacy. The awareness that your end is near is not an invitation to despair, but the most powerful spark for a transcendent purpose. It is the reminder that every breath is an opportunity, every day a blank page. By choosing to live with the urgency of our finitude, we not only unearth our dreams and break our chains, we build a life that rises beyond ourselves, a living legacy of a fully lived existence without regrets before our curtain inevitably falls. Chapter 9. The Rebirth of the Phoenix, the opportunity to recreate yourself.
Now, on the threshold of the end of this video, we encounter the most powerful of transformative truths, the inherent capacity of human beings to be reborn, to reinvent themselves, even from the deepest ashes of adversity or failure. This chapter is an invitation to embrace the timeless metaphor of the phoenix, that mythical creature which, upon burning completely, rises stronger and brighter from its own ashes. Like the phoenix, you possess the opportunity at any moment to recreate yourself and live a new, fuller life. Life is full of ends that are not the ultimate end. There are ends of relationships, careers, dreams, personal stages, or even the overwhelming feeling of having been dead while alive. These moments of crisis, breakdown, or apparent defeat often feel like the end of everything. However, for the wise, every end is a beginning in disguise. It is in the dissolution of the old that the potential for the new is conceived. The experience of having been dead while alive, of having lived without pursuing your dreams, paralyzed by fear or by others' approval, can become the purifying fire that consumes what no longer serves you and propels you toward a rebirth. Think about those moments in your life when you felt you hit rock bottom. Perhaps it was a professional failure, a painful personal breakup, a deep disappointment, or an existential crisis. The natural reaction is pain, sadness, regret. But if you choose to look at those ends with a different perspective, like the phoenix that sees its own combustion as a necessary step, you discover a sacred opportunity for reinvention. The turning point, from death to rebirth. Moments of crisis are, in reality, turning points. They are life's way of shaking you awake from inertia, from purposeless routine, or from denying your true desires. The experience of having been dead while alive, of having lived without pursuing your dreams, paralyzed by fear or by others' approval, becomes a powerful impetus for a renewed existence. When you have touched the darkness of an unlived life, the light of rebirth shines with undeniable intensity. Transforming these experiences of death into an impetus for rebirth involves accepting the end without resistance. For the phoenix to be reborn, it must accept its own combustion. Similarly, to recreate yourself, you must accept the end of a stage, an identity, a dream as you knew it. Resistance to the end is resistance to the new beginning. Extracting lessons from the ashes. The phoenix's ashes contain all the wisdom of its previous life. Your failures, your regrets, your fears are not mere mistakes. They are disguised teachers. What did that ended relationship teach you? What did you learn from that failed business? What did the time you were dead while alive reveal to you? These lessons are the material with which you will build your new version, releasing the burden of the past. The phoenix does not carry the weight of its previous form. Reinvention does not mean erasing the past, but integrating it. Lessons learned from past experiences, even negative ones, are not denied. They are understood and used as a foundation for a new, stronger, and wiser version of yourself. You are not defined by who you were, but by who you choose to be. Focusing on potential, not loss. Instead of lamenting what was lost or what did not happen, focus on the vast potential that arises from this new beginning. Every end is an opportunity for a new blank canvas. Reinventing yourself. The opportunity to design your next self. Personal reinvention is not a fantasy of a clean slate. It is a conscious and deliberate process of designing and building the person you wish to be in light of everything you have learned. Life review with focus on breaking points. Reflect on the key moments in your life where you felt an end or a failure. How did you respond? What key learnings emerged? How did those experiences shape you? Visualize how you could have responded more consciously. Visualization of the new self, emerging. Close your eyes and vividly visualize the version of yourself that is emerging from the ashes of the old. What does it look like? How does it feel? What beliefs does it hold? What actions does it take? How does it live its dreams? This visualization is your blueprint for recreation. Imagine yourself living fully, without regrets, with your dreams unearthed and flourishing. Design the first steps for your reinvention. Just as the phoenix begins with a new feather, you must begin with small steps. What is the first thing you can do today, this week, this month, to embody that new version of yourself? It could be a new routine, a pending conversation, a small creative risk, or enrolling in something you always wanted to learn. The rebirth of the phoenix is a powerful metaphor for our inherent resilience. It reminds you that no matter how many times you have fallen, how many dreams you have left in the drawer, or how dead while alive you have felt, you always have the ability to resurface. The awareness that your end is near is not the end of hope, but the most pressing call to your own resurrection. This chapter is proof that this video is not just a warning, but a guide to transforming inertia into momentum, fear into courage, and death while alive into a vibrant rebirth. Your opportunity to recreate yourself is here now. It is the promise that, regardless of your past, your present can be the crucible of your brightest future. We have reached the end of this transformative journey, a courageous exploration of the meaning of your end is near. What began as an impactful phrase designed to awaken has been revealed as one of the most liberating and powerful truths of human existence. We have confronted the inescapable reality of our finitude, not as a threat, but as the most potent catalyst for living. We unveiled the tragedy of dead while alive lives, those existences dragged by inertia, fear, and above all, by forgotten dreams lying in the drawer of postponement. We looked fearlessly into the mirror of introspection, asking ourselves the questions that force us to reevaluate our direction. We identified the invisible chains of fears and limiting beliefs that paralyze us, understanding their origin and their vital cost. But this book did not stop at diagnosis. It propelled us toward resurrection. We explored the power of conscious rebirth, the inherent capacity of our mind to reprogram itself and revive dormant potentials. We took the brave first step, learning that imperfect action, sustained by unwavering persistence, is the engine that breaks inertia. We understood how authentic relationships become pillars that elevate our existence and support our dreams. We reflected on the living legacy, the significant mark we wish to leave, driven by the awareness that our time is precious and limited. And finally, we embraced the powerful metaphor of the phoenix, the constant opportunity to recreate ourselves from the ashes of any adversity or failure. This is not the end of your journey. It is, in reality, the true beginning. Your end is near is not a warning to fear, but an urgent and loving reminder to live now, to unearth every dream, to unleash every potential, to love without reservations, to contribute with passion, to dare to be who you truly are. Life is a play with only one act, and the curtain can fall without warning. The choice is yours. Will you continue living like a ghost of what you could be, waiting for a tomorrow that never comes? Or will you rise, with the urgency granted by the awareness of your finitude, to live every moment with a burning purpose and unwavering passion? The power to choose to live fully today is in your hands. There is no time for regret. Thank you for accompanying me on this journey of self-discovery and for opening your mind to these truths. If this video has resonated with you and has ignited a spark within you, I invite you to continue this path of wisdom and growth. Visit our channel, Path of Knowledge, where we explore more transformative philosophies for a full life. Subscribe so you don't miss future guides and reflections that will empower you. If this content has been significant to you, please give it a like and share it with those you believe this message could awaken.